Hello, today we are looking at Field Tone Audio. They create virtual instruments for the Synths sampler, which is a free plugin, and they pride themselves on both their simplicity, their quality, and affordability. And they do have a mix of paid and free products that we're going to be checking out. Quick disclaimer, I am an affiliate of Field Tone Audio, so if you do decide to purchase anything, a small percentage does go towards supporting this channel. Also, for a limited time, you can get 15% off store-wide if you use the code JOEBLOG15. I'll put it on the screen for you, but that only runs until the 13th of May. So if you do decide to purchase anything or want to, get it before then and you get an extra deal as well. Nevertheless, these words are my own and they will be an honest review of these sounds, and as always I'll let the sounds speak for themselves. Now with that aside, let's jump into the products that this company has. At the top you can see the paid ones, RIA, which is a multi-synth, there's WARN organ and a distressed piano. Now their free ones, which they call fragments, are light versions of that, plus the phantom piano. So how this video will work, we'll first check out the phantom piano, we'll then look at the free version of the product, then the paid version, and see how they compare and if they're worth it. They are only $15 each, although you can get MORN and RIST for $25, which in all honesty, those are really good prices, but how do they sound? So jumping into the decent sampler, first checking out Phantom Piano, completely free. You can see we've got 4 different presets. Let's just load the first one and see how it sounds out of the box. So very, very reverby. You can pull the space back. You can see it's piped up by 12 decibels as well. So even without reverb or space, you can still kind of hear there is some sort of space on there. You can turn the piano up even more if you really want to. You have control over the attack, which is what the envelope is, and control over the tone. And there's also a pad as well. Which is kind of interesting. Right, looking at another patch, just enough piano. That gives you almost a ghostly, well, phantom piano, as the name suggests. I kind of like that. Dark pad. So this is just really the pad and a ton of reverb. Last but not least, a blend. Gotta be careful there. Bit too hard and you can hear the distortion. Right, next we're going to skip to the next piano, actually, RIST fragments. We'll look at the free version, then we will look at the full version. Now with the free editions you have 4 patches, with the full version you have 20, so that's immediately a difference. I believe for RIST the UI is exactly the same, so you've got tone, space, envelope and level, but this one is set at 6 decibels. How does it sound out of the box? Honest, a little loud. I want to bring that down to 0. let's take the reverb off. So it's not a completely dry sound. Again, that's attack. Perfect for your lo-fi music. Interesting. Not my favourite sound of the bunch, but this is the free version. Overall, it is quite a pleasing sound, and for lo-fi atmospheric soundscapes, this would be perfect, and this is completely free. Now, moving into the full edition of this, which will set you back $15, you'll notice straight off the bat, we've got those 20 different presets there. You have the same ones that you actually had with the free edition. I wonder if there's a difference. You can see the UI is the same. It's a cleaner sound and it's a lot more playable. You have layers. Obviously, you still have a ton of reverb on, even with the raw sound, as it were. Let's check out some of these presets. Overall, you have a really interesting bunch of sounds. Obviously, it's not your bread and butter piano, but I quite like it, and for the price tag, it's quite quirky and has its own character. Let me know what you think of RIST. Anyway, let's move on to our next one, which is probably my favorite RIA. And we'll start with the free one and then move into the paid. Now, with the free one, first thing I note is you need to tame it down a bit, because if you're not careful, it distorts. I am going to bring the levels just out of the box down. Lovely sound. I kind of wish you had both attack and release. You are just stuck with attack. But I will say, out the box, you do need to turn the levels down. Right, next one. Yeah, you can hear it there as well. Overall, some very interesting sounds, completely free, and I do wish you had a bit more flexibility, attack, decay, sustain, release, or maybe just a button where you can dive a little bit deeper into the space, the tone and envelope. So if you want to, you can stick with just the surface level or go a little bit deeper, like some of Fracture Sounds and Westwood Instruments. Nevertheless, this is free. You do have to tame it ever so slightly, otherwise it sounds a little bit distorted, though that might be the sound you're going for. Anyway, the full edition, I can promise you, is a lot more tame out of the box, as you are about to see, and you do have 20 different presets as well, along with the ones that you get with the free one. But as you'll hear, I'm not having to tone it back a bit, you're not getting any distortion. It's just a little bit more refined, which you'd expect for something you're paying for. Then again, it is only $15. So let's jump into some of the presets that you get with the paid one. Overall, an interesting collection of sounds. It's not even $1 per preset, but they sound authentic, they sound organic. You do have to tame and pull some of them back a bit, otherwise they do distort, which can be a desirable effect in some situations. Great for lo-fi soundscape. I feel most of these libraries kind of fit that description, but that's that. I do wish for a little bit more control, but that's me. They are designed to be simple and just play them out of the box. Right, moving on to our last but not least, the organ. So looking at MORN Fragments first, which is the free edition, consistently 4 presets. Now there is a slight difference between the UI on this one and the full edition. Now this one just has the envelope and it's got a crunch, but you will note when I quickly drag up the full edition that crunch is missing, but you do have attack and release. You do have a couple of more controls. I like the fact that you have tremolo, fleshing it out. I think this is the latest one as well, although I kind of wish the crunch was there as well. Nevertheless, let's check out the free one first and compare it. Has that dreamy sci-fi space sort of sound to it. What does the crunch do? Just crunches the sound, but then when you cut it off, it completely goes. You can't hold them down for infinity. They don't quite loop. Yeah, they cut out. Okay, so you won't be able to have long drones. I'm curious now, is that the same for the full edition as well? Yes, so the sounds don't actually loop, so they won't go on forever, which for an organ, I kind of wish they did. That really is a destroyed one. Okay, there's the free edition. I'm going to actually go back and quickly see if that is the same, especially for my favorite one, the multi-synth. I'm going to go for the full edition. We're just going to double check that's not consistent on all of them, because that would be a little bit disappointing. I can confirm that is only the case for MORN. I've been sitting here for over a minute, I've edited it out, and this one loops absolutely fine. So it's not a problem with the other ones, just MORN. Again, I think that could be fixed in a patch, so fingers crossed. Jumping into the full version of MORN and checking out some of their presets. think that gives you a little taste into field tone audio. MORN, I'm going to struggle to recommend the full edition, especially since the sound isn't looping, doesn't feel as polished as the other RIA. That's definitely my personal favorite. I like the organic but analog sort of sense that it has, although consistently throughout I do feel I'm having to pull back ever so slightly. The fragments are certainly worth downloading, as they are completely free. And of course, if you like what you hear and like what you see, you can then upgrade to the full edition, which is really nice. I'm hoping MORN can be fixed with a patch, so fingers crossed that will happen. I'll leave it down in the description, so if you're watching this later on, go look at the description to see if that loop thing has been fixed. But overall, for the price tag, not bad. I'm loving the UI and design. Again, I do wish I could dive deeper, but that's just me. I've been doing this for years. For a beginner, it could be perfect. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think of these sounds? Are the ones you're going to be using or not? Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.